Hello, my name is Alun, and tonight I'm facilitating the second half of our first visit to a settlement in late 6th century Northumbria, which is suffering some difficulties. We are playing Eotenweard. This is my PbtA game in development of Dark Age heroes protecting the innocent from the darkness. And it's by way of a long-term playtest. We're hoping to play 10 or so sessions. So I'm with no further ado, really, I'm going to pick up with a previously on Eotenweard. And I'm wondering, hang on, let me just put my do not disturb on. Oh, sorry, I should have said we're playing within the Open Hearth gaming community. Sorry, I had my COVID jab yesterday. I'm feeling a bit, ooh. We're playing within the Open Hearth community's gaming expectations. We're playing with safety tools, and I won't explain those because I did in the original session, and you can look at that if you want to, all these players, and we're expecting a fourth player shortly, fingers crossed. So a very confusing intro, I apologize. Previously on Eotenweard, would anyone like to volunteer a previously on Eotenweard?
Well, I mean, I do write down everything that happened.
Indeed, indeed. So don't use up everybody else's memory. But from Solinus, our reformed inverted commas rogue, what do we see of Solinus or the plot?
Arriving in the small village of Thrydingas, where fish began to the fish have been dying on the banks as the river is clearly poisoned by some sort of noxious contaminant. Villagers all clutching talismans that seem to be protecting them, nothing from this ill omen, and being greeted in the Lord's Hall. When
no, leave. That's fine. Rotting fish in the river. I'm going to go to Black Jell for what happened in the Lord's Hall as you sat to enjoy his hospitality.
As we sat to enjoy the Lord's hospitality, fish started raining from the ceiling. They were probably tied up fish, drying. I don't think they spontaneously appeared. Screaming as they hit the ground, causing a large disturbance. Some of us noted the slave girl was acting suspiciously, followed her outside, while some other people pursued some events inside the hall. Really, all the action happened outside the hall. And two of the heroes pursued the slave girl.
Let me pick up with those heroes. So, Jose, this is sorry, you've just literally turned your screen on. So this, I just thought I'd throw you in the deep end. We're just doing a previously on Eotenweard. So I wondered, we've dealt with the arrival of the rotting fish. We've dealt with fish appearing in the rafters and falling, screaming into the Lord's Hall. And I think that Paul has just given you a segue to two of the heroes pursued the slave girl away from the village. So do you want to give us a little flavor of that?
Sure. So Fynn, I think, scared the slave girl quite a bit, and she maybe saw a little bit through his steaming to the monster within, and she went running. And then Cadoc and Fynn went after her with a good cop, bad cop plan, where Cadoc would save her from the evil monster that is chasing her. And that seemed to work somewhat. And the slave girl trusted Cadoc to the point of asking him to accompany her into the Fen, which is where she wanted to go.
Exactly, and perhaps then a Sinister Fen, I think we defined it as, and then Sabine. I think if we then cut to Cadoc, the Fen, and what?
We had some conversation with the girl, and I think both Black Jell and Solinus showed up. I wanted to pray for guidance, and then I jumped, like Cadoc jumped onto a hillock. Or what he thought was a hillock, but was not. What was it? A snake? Water snake? Something?
Yeah, a water drake. I think
a water drake, right? It was some kind of monster, and we fought the monster, and we killed the monster. but now the girl is gone. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we probably have that scene just cut together of Fynn in full monstrous form, wrapped in the coils of the drake, biting it. Black Jell, trying to work out, was there any way to do any more harm to this? Solinus finding a weak spot in its scaly coat, and then Cadoc finishing it off by severing its head. And then that moment of realization that Effa, the dishonest slave, quite how dishonest and why we don't know yet, have suspicions perhaps, she's gone. And that is where we left it, and that's where we'll pick up. I just wanted to point out one thing. In terms of the insights so far, you'll find that on the Thrydingas page. Will, I combined your two into one, because your first insight was the slave girl's past, and your second one is she's from the coast. So I thought they were too close together to be separate ones. So I've linked those together. We also know that the fen is unaffected, though it feeds the river where the fish are rotting. And from Fynn, we got the slave girl believes she can avert the curse by visiting the fen. So
can I just ask before we move on about this mechanic that's new? Inside Depth of Shadow. I'm assuming this is like a card from Brindlewood type thing, where there's
it is.
Okay, where do I find that move?
Revelation is on the common moves.
Common moves. Cool. Thank you. I hadn't seen that.
Yeah. And currently, if you could link all three of those, then you would be rolling -1, because the depth of the shadow in this place is 4. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Once I get access to my ancient learning, I might add another clue, but I have to pray for that.
Indeed you do. Indeed you do. So yeah, the question, maybe we want to start with that, Cadoc, because the whole final scene last time was triggered by you rather unwisely stepping on a water drake. Do you want to find some a little bit of dry land nearby?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Pray.
I think I need to give a thanks to God. I owe God a lot of favors right now, and also pray for the guidance that I need. But I will poke the hillock with my sword before stepping on it.
Of course.
Learn that lesson. I will poke all sorts of hillocks with my sword.
So, what about the three of you while Cadoc goes off into the reeds to pray?
I think we see Fynn coming up out of the water and shaking his fur off, and then maybe approaching the drake, the body of the drake. And I'm thinking Finn's going to want to maybe try his gift out on the body of the drake to see what we can learn about this creature. And yeah, I think that's the idea. That's the idea.
Okay. And your gift is the sight. Your patron sometimes shows you things that cannot be seen and may be best left unseen. So this is the common move. Invoke your it's gifts and temptations. Invoke your gift. When you call on your god or patron to empower your gift, say what success looks like. You want to know something about this drake.
Mm-hmm.
And roll plus favor.
Okay, let me open the room. Let's see, it's here, right? Oh, there it is. Hold on. And my favor is 2, I believe.
It is. You've managed to avoid any unfortunate calling on your patron
so far.
That's cost you. Yeah. Early days.
Still
so
time.
Roll plus 2.
All right. I'll do these 2. No, take that one off. All right. So that's a 9.
9. And the move says, on 7+, they empower your gift, owe them a debt, or mark 1 harm as a blood sacrifice. What's your choice?
I'll go ahead and take 1 harm. I like the idea of a blood sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, just for the purposes of watching, are you still in monstrous form or have you transformed back?
So I think I've transformed back, and so I haven't put on my clothes yet, but I think he's reached out his hand to touch the drake. And I think as he touches the drake, some of the scales are actually sharp and they draw blood from him as he touches it and invokes a sight to learn something about it.
Okay, mark that harm. And on a 7 to 9, the fate then chooses one. You attract unwelcome attention, so you're going to get an insight.
Okay.
You're going to get something around the drake. Your gift has a broader effect than you had desired. Your gift takes more from you than you had expected. I think I'm going to invoke the last one there. Your gift is going to take more from you than you had expected. Choose disadvantage or mark another harm.
Why don't I go ahead and disadvantage would be to the next move, right?
Yes,
Okay.
whatever that might be.
All right, I'll take
Okay.
disadvantage to the next move.
And when you touch this, now does the sight, we've not spent much of the special effects budget yet. So when the sight works, what do we see in terms of any special effect or not?
Let's see. I think as he touches it, I think it's an internal thing, and so we see kind of a fade out of the the immediate material reality, and we see a scene. Oh, can I narrate what the insight is?
Well, tell me the special effect first, and then
Okay,
I'll tell you what you.
Okay.
I'll tell you what you see.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Then just the special effect is this fade and to a new scene where he's actually seeing something, something about the Drake's history, or and so maybe that's what.
That works for me. So I think what you see is you see through the eyes of the Drake. And it is clear that the scale's wrong. You seem to be kind of sinuously making your way through the water, but the reeds are quite large. And then a pair of hands reach down into the water and cup you. And the head of this water snake turns towards in the direction of the person who's taking you out of the water. Snakes don't see terribly well. But then you hear mumbled words and you're put back into the water and you begin to swell and grow and take on the form of the water drake. Is that helpful?
That was exactly what I was going to do. Only I was
there you go.
I was going to give the person, but you left it mysterious, which is fine.
Yeah, well, yeah. So do you want to phrase an insight on that basis?
Sure. The insight is that the water drake was summoned or created by someone to. Well, this wasn't in the vision, but I was going to think to dissuade people from entering the Fen. Is that too much?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I think what I've written is the water drake was summoned by someone to discourage entry to the Fen. There we go. So you would be rolling at 0 right now if you wanted to have a revelation and try to pin down the nature of the dark. So that's what Fynn is doing. Black Jell, what are you doing while Cadoc is dreaming his dream, praying his prayer?
Well, I'd already pulled out the eyeball of the drake at the end of the last session, so I'll bring it close to me, start speaking to the eyeball, then lick it and say, the eyeball has spoken to me. Cadoc, you will receive bad battle luck going forwards. The eyeball has seen it, but with this, it will show us the way the girl has gone. And I will start spinning round, and basically I will hurl this eyeball in the direction we should go.
Okay. So is this a bizarre example of look about me?
Indeed, it is.
Fair enough. Are you triggering true path here? Your gift.
Does it make is there any difference between that and mechanic?
Well, I mean, it sounds like you are invoking the fates to show you the way.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay, so your patron sometimes shows you the true path when the way is unclear. So again, same move, invoke your gift. Roll plus favor.
12.
Wowza. What is your favor at the minute?
1 on everything.
Oh, right. The only one that matters is Woden. That's the only one you've got access to yet. So, I mean, that's just as good as it gets, isn't it? So, on that, it works. You will get what you want. You will get some indication. Oh, Woden, a debt or mark 1 harm as a blood sacrifice. What's your choice?
I will owe 1 harm as I spit out blood from something on the eye.
Fine, mark that harm. On 10 plus, you also choose your gift continues to have this effect for a further action, has a broader effect than even you had hoped for, or leaves someone, something in the scene at disadvantage.
That'd be a right knobs move to leave another player at disadvantage. So I will not do that. Although it would pay with bad battle luck, but that would be a right goits move. So no, let's have a lingering goodness carry on. The gods shine on us.
Okay, so it has a broader effect than even you had hoped for. Yeah, so not only does it give you the direction, it is going to give you the trail that you follow. Does that seem fair?
It does indeed.
And finally, Solinus, what are you doing while Cadoc is praying?
Mainly what I'm doing is wondering why I'm at -1 with all of the gods.
It is your soul minus debts you owe.
I see. So it's always favor minus your favors, whatever your soul is, and then on top
Minus
of it.
debts, exactly so.
Fair enough. I was like, I haven't done anything with any of the other gods. It seems to be taken against me. To be honest, Solinus is just going to call out to Fynn. Don't suppose you see my axe anywhere there? It was a nice weapon that was.
Do you want to look about you to see if you can find it?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Go ahead.
As I walk up to Fynn and probably see his eyes glazed over and drool slightly coming out of his mouth.
That sounds about right. Looking for his clothing.
roll plus sense.
Pretty good at sense. Wait, did I roll that twice? I swear I rolled that twice.
Oh, I think history
think
says
that's-
only once.
Yeah.
Okay.
A 5 and a 2, I'm seeing.
Yeah. Cool. 9 then.
9. So on a 9, would you like to declare that you find your axe?
Yeah, I would love to declare that I find my axe because it'd be nice to have a weapon better than my my little knife. I think, like poking out from underneath the bulk of the thing, like underneath it, and I reach my hand in, push it into that stagnant water that's all around us, and pull it out, dripping with bits and vitriol, and I like look around, and then while he's thinking, I wipe it on the back of Finn's back and walk off.
So Cadoc, you went into the reeds, and again we've not seen you praying. Is it the traditional on your knees with your sword before you as a cross incarnate?
Yeah, I think it might be that. That is probably what I'm doing. Closing my eyes, opening my mind to whatever, and then try to focus really on what I actually have learned, because I learned it in a sort of school, and that's some lessons work better with me than others.
Exactly,
Just leave it at that.
So I'm very happy for you to phrase your question right now. What are you hoping your orders, teachings will tell you?
I think when we arrived in the town, I remember that they had that there were some legends or stories about a fish demon or something like that. And I think the question here would be, what was that about? What do I know about that?
Yeah, and I think I'm probably going to phrase this as an insight, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that down as fish demons have an affinity with salt, not fresh water.
Okay, so help me here to know.
The fen and the river are fresh water.
Yeah.
Therefore,
the fish demons, okay. They have an affinity
Yeah.
with, they are kind of ocean demon things.
Yeah, more about salt water than they are about fresh water.
Okay, fine. Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think we're done for insights. I think that we have Black Jell is convinced the eye went that way, and therefore that is the way we must go. I suppose my question is, do you continue in the boat, or do you trust to the trail through the reeds, through the squishing, and the
I have a starter session move.
Oh, you do have start session move. You do. Yeah. Sorry, you do. I'd forgotten. Enemy of God. At the start of every session, tell us something you did for God in the past that you considered dishonorable.
Yep. And then I can get to declare someone or something the enemy of God, right?
When it matters.
Yeah. Okay. I can. Okay. Something. Yeah, I should maybe have thought about that before I yell out. What did I do?
Maybe it comes on the back of that teaching. Maybe while you're praying, God speaks to you. So let's have you roll plus steal first. See how it goes.
For the yes. Okay, that I rolled that with these two, and I rolled that with steal. I think I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at steal. Yeah.
You are.
Okay, come on. Yeah, but not with that dice. I rolled a 2, so.
Oh, right. You are unworthy of aid. Oh, God, a debt in the hope he notices your desire to do his bidding.
How many can I owe him?
Yeah, quite where is your this might be a good time to talk about what do you do when you're I mean your favor is currently at -4.
Yeah. I needed a lot of favors during the first session, so
yeah. So I will remind you that you can seek solace in friendship in an effort to you can always take a temptation by asserting your free will to reduce your debt to your patron or God. You can then use seek solace in friendship to try and unload the temptation if that's what you want to do. Okay. So the sequence is, do I want to reduce the debt I owe? If yes, assert your free will and select a temptation. And then in a subsequent scene, if you want to get rid of that temptation, so be it.
Okay, and I assert my free will. Is that a move that I have to roll for?
It's a choice. It's a choice. It's on gifts and temptations. When you assert your free will, mark a temptation and erase a debt to your gods.
Okay, cool.
So which of those temptations are you inclined to?
Which of those temptations? Let me check the temptations we have there.
Oh, sorry. You must take pride the first and clear it last. Sorry.
Okay.
It's the no-brainer for a paladin, isn't it?
I would have gone that way anyway, I think. Okay, I will do that. And then I get to clear one of those.
You do.
And something I consider dishonest. Oh, I know. This was when we were in a fishing village again. That was on the sea, and my superior told me that I should go and help the fisherman's wife with her nets. So I spent time repairing nets, and I thought that was dishonorable because I am a man of the sword and not a lowly fisherman. I mean, I did it for God, sure, but you know. think that ties in neatly with the pride thing.
Found manual labor
Yeah.
beneath him.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that fisher wife was not very respectful. She was not very praiseful about my fish net repairing abilities, which, to be fair, are not very highly trained in that.
Fine. So in an effort to make you humble, your mentor in the order gave you manual labor. Okay, I can go with that. So with all that in mind, how do we see you all heading in the boat and trying to stay close to where Black Jell says she's gone, or are you going to go cross country? I think I'm going to go to Solinus here because he's a bit light-fingered and a bit. What do you think?
I think we should stay on the boat.
Since
Never get off the boat.
Since I didn't take my horse, I have no objections to this.
Okay.
Places like this, Cadoc, wouldn't be fair on the beast.
No, that's why I didn't take her.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but lead the way, Black Jell.
Row that way.
So we have Black Jell in the prow of this reed boat as the rest of you pole into the misty fen, it being nighttime after all. Black Jell, what do you do when, as dawn comes up, you notice a thin kind of rise of smoke in the distance?
There, that is our target. We must go there, to the smoke.
Is that the direction of the sea in any case?
It's inland.
It's inland, okay.
Yeah, you're quite a distance from the sea, I think.
Okay.
And this is taking you further inland.
A long time ago, that used to be a sea. That is where we need to go, to the inland sea.
That totally makes sense. I will taste the water. Like not like full cuppa, but just like, is it salty?
It's not. It is fresh water, I'm afraid. Whatever the source of this water, it flows from inland into the fen, from the fen to the river, from the river to the sea.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I will look at Black Jell and be very disappointed. Sound pretty disappointed. This is not salt water. Your inland sea is not salty. It's not.
It used to be a sea a long time ago.
Okay.
Before man walked here.
You say such nonsense, Black Jell. Can you imagine? The gods made this land as it is and as we walk it.
No, I have insight into the past. A long time ago. Far, far away. There was land. This was sea.
What does it matter? It's fresh water now.
Yeah, but the fish demons like seawater. So I don't know. I don't know what any of this means. Give me something I can hit with the sword, please. And then that's what I'm good at.
Fynn, as you're poling the boat closer to this source of smoke, presumably some habitation or other, do you want to have a two-parter scene with anyone?
Sure. Let's see. What would make sense? So we're on our ways.
I mean, don't feel obliged. I just opened the box.
I'm just trying to think. Does anyone have an idea for a scene as we're in here?
I mean, I still got to clear my god debt, but I've had some spotlight right now, so feel free to talk to someone else.
You really scared that girl, Fynn.
She needed some scaring.
I don't think you need any more scaring than she already is. Can you not see that she was terrified? Even before we arrived. And then you go sniffing around her, growling, raising your hackles.
We need to find out what she knows. Do you have another way? More devious way, no doubt.
Aye, well, they often say that you catch more flies with sugar.
Well, when you tried to give her some sugar, she started vomiting up fish.
Fair. But she's not anywhere here now, is she? Maybe if she thought that she was safe with us.
Well,
But I know what it's like to have a darker side, an anger that you can't put us that lies beneath the surface. I just hope you've got control of it, my friend.
don't worry. I've got it under control, and he doesn't look like he's under control at all. He's bedraggled and he's wet, and he's still dazed from the experience of the sight, and he's clutching. Even as he pulls, he's clutching to the side of the rim of the boat, and you can tell he's barely keeping it together.
Yeah, and I would, if you're happy with it, I mean, you're naked, right? When you shape change back into a human, so I'm happy to have given you my cloak.
I'm naked with a bedraggled cloak. Bedraggled and naked with a cloak.
But I would like to assert my free will and take this temptation of longing, Alan, because that was what I would have done previously, as we discussed.
Yeah, that's the one you need to take first and clear last. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And you know what? Why not? I'm trying to seek some connection with Fynn here, seeking solace in a friendship, even if I'm, discussing our disagreements on the approach. Right? It's with good.
yeah.
So let's see if I.
So when you share your woes with another in the hope you can put a name temptation behind you and clear it, roll plus soul.
Yeah. Turn off my VPN, or I will keep getting disconnected. Jesus Christ. Well, that's a 6.
Oh, on a 6, they listen patiently, but you have not found value in their counsel. Do not clear a temptation, and you cannot seek solace again until you reach a new settlement.
Well, I think that fitted with the fiction anyways, didn't it? Given that Fynn was basically like, well, what do you suggest? not barking at them and terrifying them.
How about, is it possible to use a help move on that move?
I don't see why we shouldn't.
Okay.
So go for it. So
I think what happens, I'll just set it and then I'll do the roll, is that I can't remember what you said, Solinus, but when you see that Fynn is not well and he's clutching to the side, he actually staggers and almost falls over. And we'll see what happens right there. I'll have to roll. Okay, so help is going to be a disadvantage, right?
It is going to be a disadvantage. So you've got 3 dice to hit the bottom 2, but which attribute? I mean, is this, how would steel, sense, soul, subtle, which one do you think is relevant here? I'm kind of thinking soul, really, because that's where longing aims.
Uh-huh. Oh, because it's his longing, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So by all means, let's have you try to help him out with 3d6 bottom 2 plus soul.
Well, I have advantage on help, so those cancel.
Oh yes, cancelled. Yeah.
So it'll just be a roll plus 2 then.
Yeah.
Well, that's an 11 then.
Oh wow! So on an 11, on 7 plus, their outcome improves by 1 step. So the fail becomes a 7 to 9, and you don't expose yourself to any complications, Fynn. So that goes much better. 7 plus, clear the temptation. 7 to 9, recognize the wise counsel they have provided and honor their heritage by owing their gods a debt, even if you have not previously honored them.
Okay.
So you owe the old gods a debt.
The old gods. Why does Fynn have advantage on help again?
Because that's the move that he took for his wolf pack instincts. He recognizes the weak or the strong. He was able to play into your urge. It's the move he has advantage on because of his wolfness.
Oh, I see. Where's
Yeah,
where's that in the? Sorry, I'm just missing it from the playbook. I don't see it in the
he's bolded help. That's how you indicate which of the moves you choose. When you choose to be a werewolf, you get or a skin changer. You
I see.
choose
So that's
a
content
common
that's on the
move.
playbook.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Just trying to pass the changes and everything. Yeah.
No, that's fine. So anyway, you now owe the old gods a debt. But I'm going to put them in bold because it does mean you can go to them for help.
Yeah, and I
Quite
think
what the Christ God will think is for us to find out.
Yeah, and I don't know how you want to play that out, Solinus, but I would think when Fynn collapses, that somehow you either catch him or you're somehow supporting him, and you see his vulnerability and that moment, and so that's kind of the moment that they share.
Yeah. I think maybe I see something of the power that drives you onwards, right? Like, and to such behavior, even, and all I can do is trust that it will lead us through the darkness.
All right.
Okay, that works for me. And so we are approaching the smoke. Anyone gonna leave the boat and check out what's ahead, or are we just poling the boat to this, whatever it is, around this corner in the fen? Black Jell, you're at the sharp end. You're guiding them. Do you seek advice here? Because Cadoc looks like they've got a view.
No, I'll strip off and dive into the water and then shout back, I'm going to see what's up in front. Stay here.
Cadoc.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm my temptation is pride right now, right? So I think, yeah, sure, Black Jell, you can face Drake on your own, sure thing. I'm following. I'm not a stealthy type, but that might actually help you.
Are you following by getting into the water with him, or are you going to? Yeah. Oh wow. Right.
Yep. I mean, it's. I would look for a place where I can actually walk instead of swim because I'm clad in mail and stuff like that.
I was going to ask you whether you were going to take the mail off.
Oh no, I'm looking for some place where I can kind of walk. It's a swamp, so there must be drier parts.
So you're kind of sticking to the edge where the reeds come out of the water, while Black Jell just Yeah, and
I look to the others and say, I'm looking for him.
Solinus, Fynn, are you going to stay put until Black Jell comes back with news?
I mean, I'm tempted to say that point when Fynn staggers is the point when Black Jell leaps forward, right? And Cadoc and Solinus will hold on to Fynn, and I guess we'll catch him up then. We're not likely to miss him, and with all that noise.
So Black Jell, it sounds like this is to scout out the route, to scout out what's around that corner. So let's have you roll to look about you. Roll plus sense.
Pen.
Whoa, you're nailing it. On 7+, choose one. On 10+, roll with advantage if you then act on the answers you received or the detail that was added. So ask a question. Ask me to there's no threat in the scene yet to reveal a weakness. And once per scene, one of the heroes can agree with the fates a detail to add that enriches the fiction. What's your option?
Yeah, what's going on where the smoke is?
Do you want to tell me, or are you asking me? Declare a detail or ask the question?
No, I'll ask you.
Fine. It looks like a fishing village of some kind. You know, there are reed huts on stilts. There are a number of these reed boats tied up in the vicinity. and there are people. We said that dawn was arriving. I think that there is activity beginning to show in this little village. I mean, a handful of these little huts. Does that seem like a fair answer?
It does. What would I be rolling advantage? What have you told me that I could use advantage on?
Well, I suppose if you wanted now to sneak into the village, or if you wanted to look about you again to ask a different question, or to ask some for more details, say.
Or butcher the women and children.
Or surprise the
Okay.
village.
Excellent.
Yeah, does that make sense?
That sounds fine.
I will. Let me just ask Cadoc. You've worked your way around, and you can see there's a little lagoon of sorts, a more open piece of water here, and you see what he's seen. What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, this is a little village. Looks like probably not Christian. Oh gosh, I should probably go and preach to them, I think, but maybe I'll look about and see if how heavily they are armed.
Fine. Roll plus sense to look about you.
Yeah. Let's see how that goes. Maybe it goes better than the last roll. And no, I don't roll with disadvantage on that. Well, it's an 8 plus my sense. It's not, I don't think it's 2. It's a 9.
9 on 7 plus choose 1.
Okay.
Well, in fact, it's effectively 2. Ask a question or declare a detail.
Ask a question or declare a detail. Can I declare a detail that they actually have it's not a church, it's kind of a chapel or something. It's a Christian thingy that they have here, which surprises Cadoc. He did not expect that, but might not be so surprising after all if you think about fish demons.
So what can I suggest? One of these huts has a kind of crude cross, nailed to the kind of lintel of the door.
Yeah, or maybe it's stuck up at the
in the thatch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Yeah, that does seem odd, doesn't it? So, with that in mind, Solinus and Fynn, you pole the boat around the corner. You'll see what they've seen. What, if anything, do you do? Let me go. Let me go to get to Fynn first. I think I went to Solinus last time.
So just to be clear, Black Jell and Cadoc are in front of us,
yes.
Swimming in front of us towards the village, right?
Cadoc is actually tried to stay in the fringe of the reeds because I think reasonably is worried about the male shirt and any deep water. So is kind of making their way through the fringe of the reeds.
I think Fynn turns to Solinus and says, "We'll try it your way this time. Shall we approach these villagers quietly and with no threat?"
Well, I think quietly's out of the window as he gestures over at Cadoc crashing through the thing, and Black Jell probably capering him in the muck ahead of us. And
not very stealthy, are they?
But, well, no, in fairness, they've not suggested they're making a fuss.
One of them's
full
male wading through the reeds. I'll just raise an eyebrow and say, well, quietly might be out the window, but with open hands might be a start.
Lead the way, my friend.
And we'll pole on forwards, but the other two will, of course, encounter the inhabitants before us, unless they take a step back.
But that's my question really to Black Jell. You've gone around the corner in the water, and you've seen this. What do you do now?
No, I'm going to go full Colonel Kurtz here. I'm going to go under the water and go up to one of these huts.
Never step off the boat.
Exactly.
Okay. I think that this is the objective is stealth here. So I think that this is probably face the challenge of not being observed. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it's a physical challenge, so like it's steal.
Sure, it's not subtle. I want to
I
move
thought
subtly.
I
Because-
thought subtle is
Well,
native
they're
cunning.
they're no longer exactly as you can address a challenge with. I'm doing
You
it subtly.
You can. I think that subtle is native cunning. Oh, maybe this is native. Oh, go on. Yeah, go ahead.
I've got
Roll with
advantage anyway.
subtle. You have to get in among these huts without being seen.
Phenomenal. Didn't even need the advantage.
Didn't need that. You set 7 plus, you do it. 10 plus. Say how you also gain advantage. So you get advantage back. Where are you?
I think I'm under this Christian, or whatever the sort of biggest central hut is. I'm under the dock of that in a good vantage position to either observe or leap as much as you can from the water. Yeah, I'm poised, ready to act.
Fine. Yeah. So there's this platform above you. I think the largest structure is the one that has the cross on it, and I think there is that kind of between next to one of these supporting poles. Cadoc, you've got an option here, I think. If you want to get you're making your way through the fringe of the reeds. I kind of want to know if you're going to proceed with that, which would be quite slow to get from one place to the other, or whether you want to get back in the boat. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
I would like to go to the hut with a cross on it, and I would choose whichever is faster, because I've lost sight of Black Jell, of course, and I'm not gonna dive after him because A, not a strong swimmer, B, may a shirt, and C, well, I mean, they are people of the faith. So
fine.
Yeah.
So I think probably there is that sense in which as the boat kind of was following you, you step back in the boat, because I think that's going to be a lot quicker from A to B than making your way around the edge of this lagoon.
If that is bigger, then I will go in the boat. But I will yell out, I will call out to the village, because I mean, they might have noticed us, and I think it goes over a little better if we followed them and said that we are here, even though I'm a little worried about Black Jell. But yeah.
Fine. So you call attention. What do you call? What do you shout?
I call, hello, good people of God. We have come to visit you.
Okay. Solinus and Fynn, that's what happens. You're poling towards the village. Do you head towards this large structure with a cross, or somewhere else? Solinus.
Seems the place for it, doesn't it? The large building. I'm imagining at some point we will encounter a bank of some kind that these buildings were built upon, right? Like the boat will no longer be.
Yeah. I think that probably there's a floating dock of some sort that you can kind of draw the boat up to, and you will see that people are making their way to this larger structure. There are little walkways connecting this handful of huts, and you make your way to that floating dock, by which time most of the settlement is focused on you. A number of them are armed with rather inefficient little bows, and some fish spears, some wooden tridents of sorts. So that's what you face when you pull up to the dock. Black Jell, you're still with advantage underneath the structure. You can see and hear the people above you. You can see the other three arriving at this floating dock. Who's going to take the lead in coming to these people?
A glance at Fynn and his shivering naked body underneath the cloak, and I look at his subtle which is lower than mine, I believe. And I pat him on the shoulder and I say, "Oh, the village. Do you have we seek your aid and hospitality. My friend here has been struck by a beast within the fen, and we hope for your mercy and your arms as we approach you."
I mean, that sounds like convince them. I think I agree that you have a good reason to, you're seeking hospitality. Hospitality is important to people. So I think that you've got the reason to do it. Roll plus subtle. I sense that's where you were heading.
Yeah, that was exactly where I was heading. Yeah, well, it's the only one that's still marked for convince them, right? So, Fynn, can you help me out again?
Of course.
Uh,
I think
should
the way Fynn helps you out.
Can I help out?
I
Because
think
I'm in the boat
Cadoc
as
is the
well.
more obvious.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
and given that Cadoc is the only other Christian, I think
Yeah.
that might be the sensible one to go with. So
Yeah.
what form does this help take, Cadoc?
What form does this help take? I think, let me check here. Draw conclusions, make sense, blah blah. I think it has to be with either soul or subtle steel. Probably.
Well, tell me what you're doing, and I'll help you decide.
Okay, yeah. What I'm doing is I will give a hearty smile, and kind of like show them that I'm also willing, obviously, to help out. But they might notice, and Solinus might also notice that I'm pretty much favoring one of my legs because I got bitten by this drake thing too. Yeah, but I will say to them, brothers in Christ, we as fellow Christians, we beg of you your help.
I'll give you a choice. Is this a cunning ploy to use the leg, in which case it's subtle, or is this an appeal to your common faith, in which case it's soul?
It's appeal to common faith.
But with pride, you get +1 to help another.
Yep. Cool. So I roll.
Because you are obviously indispensable.
And I'm very, very good at that, at least. I have an 11.
Wow, 7+ their outcome improves by 1 step. So that again, that fail goes to a mixed success for Solinus, which is they welcome you, but I think that they insist on doing it their way, which is that they insist that you leave your weapons in the boat. Are we agreeable? Apart from Black Jell, of course, who they don't know is there. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not? Apart from my knives, of course.
Oh yeah, there's always a knife.
A knife is not a weapon.
A knife is to eat with.
Yeah, Solinus thinks back to how many times knives have been very useful weapons for him. But yeah.
So yeah, everything else is placed in the boat. And a woman, an aged woman, gestures you up towards this larger building. Black Jell, I'm going to keep popping back to you to see whether your position changes.
No, I'm fine. I will wave my hands and shout if I wish to act.
Fine. You'll probably be able to hear what's said or done inside because of your position. And she gestures you up and ushers you into this hut, which is the larger of the huts. There's a little kind of metal fire pit in the middle, which has just got some glowing coals, and she will try and get the fire going a bit, because she notices that Cadoc at least is wet, and Fynn has looked pretty miserable since last night.
A lot of shivering going on.
And she introduces herself as Mairwen, who is in charge, who leads these people, who the people look to, and invites you to sit on the floor around this fire pit. Solinus, you took the lead in the introduction, but Cadoc used the kind of faith to get any further. Which one of you is going to further the conversation? Cadoc, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking of doing small talk to Solinus.
Okay, so Solinus, what are we looking for here with small talk? Or
We didn't think there was any settlements out here. We thought we'd have to go all the way back to Thrydingas. Your neighbors? Awful business down there. The water's all dried up and toxic to the fish. But based on what gave my friend a bite there, tore him straight off the raft. It did. Ripped the clothes off his back. A great beast it was. Have you seen such a thing before? I've never. I've traveled from one end of this isle to the other, and I've never seen such a thing.
Really, she says. She's speaking. I mean, it could very well be that you're speaking a Brythonic, the native language, rather than the Saxon you've been using in the village.
Yeah,
because they are clearly, indigenous. And she says, I didn't know that people from Thrydingas were coming into the Fen. Are you from the village?
Oh no, we're from much further. We're travelers. We are.
Yes, you sounded.
We passed through Thrydingas, and we were looking for a girl who'd got lost in the fens.
Oh no, lost, you say?
Yes. When this fell beast attacked us, I don't know where she's gone, but we're rather worried about her. She's only a slip of a thing. I don't suppose you've seen her, have you?
This sounds like what? She says no.
No. I mean, I've exchanged a few words with a mortal NPC. And she's the leader of this small village, it seems, right within this church. She reminds me of exactly that, of not a priest or a priestess, despite the presence of this, this being a Christian church. She reminds me of the leader of a Roman cult of secrets that was within Londinium.
Okay.
Few of them left over now, but her position, her enigmaticness, the isolation of these people, she reminds me of them. Sort of somebody who's created their own heart of darkness, one might say, within things.
Fine. And that allows you to roll with advantage.
Yep.
If you want to know about their intentions, motives, or weaknesses.
Yeah, and I want to get a read on this, her and the people of this village,
Yeah, let's have you look about you then. Roll with advantage and sense.
I forgot to roll 3. I got a 5 and a 3. I'll roll another dice. I got a 6, so I got a 13.
Goodness me. So choose one. Ask a question. Reveal a threat's weakness if you consider her to be a threat. And once per scene, you can agree with me a detail to be added.
Yeah. I suppose I will just ask you, do these people seem to, does her in particular, does she seem to know more about what I've been, laying down into the conversation about the escaped girl, the stuff like that?
She's absolutely lying to you and wants you gone.
Wants me gone, yeah. So she knows about the beast, she knows about the river, she knows about all of those things. None of those are news to her. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Does that satisfy you?
Yeah. And I'll just lean back and go, well, we hoped we might find answers, but all we found is muck, isn't that right, Fynn? Muck and monsters.
Fynn shivers exaggeratingly. It says, yes, muck and monsters. Mother, you wouldn't have some clothing for us, would you?
she looks at you and says, "That cloak is better than anything we have."
Well, then it'll have to do for now.
And that, I think, is where we'll take our first break. It's a minute past. Shall we be back together at 10 past the hour?
Sure.
Fine. So that is the conversation that's gone on inside. I want to remind you that at the moment, if you could connect all of these insights, you would be rolling revelation at +2. So I just want to put that on the table as a possibility right now. It can't get above +3, but if you could find another insight, you'd be at maximum. So let me just raise that as a possibility. Is there a sense that you want to try for revelation now, in which case you would frame the scene to go with to confront the darkness? So we got one thumbs up, a nod.
I'm good for it. We've got all the villagers are here, and we're all in the building with the leader, and we have a Martin Sheen hanging out beneath the water, right? So I would be curious to know if possibly like that might be a good setup for the final revelation, right? I leave that in Black Jell's hands.
Well, the way this works is that if you have a look on the Thrydingas tab, you will find the insights you've had so far. I'll untick all of those. You tick one when you use it. Let me go to Solinus first, then, as you spoke up in favor of it, and you're just gobby. Which one would you like to start with? And then we'll see how the others can connect to the thread you set going.
Well, Merwin, the Fenlander leader, knows more than she's admitting.
That seems like a very good opening stem. Is there anyone in the room with her? So Cadoc or Fynn, which one of you wants to make the next connection to come up with some convincing narrative?
I'm wondering whether, since the water drake was summoned by someone to discourage entry to the fen, whether there's some sense that Fynn, even though he didn't get a good look at the person who did it, has a feeling like it might have been Merwin.
What's that feeling based on? What do you see? Because you saw the hands as they scooped you out of the water.
Yeah, so maybe it's the
see?
hands. Maybe she wears like a wooden ring on her hands, and he sees when she's sitting next to him that she's wearing a similar hand, and the hands were very kind of older and gnarled hands. He remembers now from his vision.
Let me go next to Cadoc then, and I'll come to Black Jell last, and then we'll see what we've got left. Can you make a connection from this?
Yeah, I think you said this is Sweetwater, and these people have built a village with Christian symbology, at least, on top, surrounded by Sweetwater, right? So I think maybe Cadoc spies something else in the hut, something that actually is a kind of a weapon, kind of just a dagger, right? Like an eating dagger, but it has the symbol of Saint Adrian in its haft. So he knows that these people might be the descendants of someone who had truck with his cult, order. It's not a cult. It's not a cult. This is order before, and maybe they have they're keeping themselves safe from the fish demons hereabouts.
So fish demons are affinity with salt water, not fresh water. I go with that. Black Jell, do you want to build a story?
Well, I'm going to say, up here it's unaffected because they have the protection of a fish demon looks after these people.
Okay. So that would be the Fen is unaffected, though it feeds the river. Okay. Now, Fynn and Solinus came up with 2 insights each, so I'm going to go to this time Fynn. Can you connect one of the remaining 2? Or you can defer and pass it on.
Well, I'm thinking, I don't know how elaborate I can, how much I can elaborate on one of these, but I'm thinking that the slave girl somehow helped Merwin and the Fenlanders summon the fish demons with something she brought from the coast in her past, thinking that because she had resentment towards the villagers of Thrydingas, but now it's gotten out of her hands, and she is remorseful that she did this.
Okay, so the slave girl believes she can avert the curse by visiting the Fen. Sorry, no, it comes from the coast, and
Right.
something that she brought from the coast summoned the demon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Last but not least, Solinus, can you tie this up to what she believes?
She believes that she can avert the curse by stealing back the totem of Dagon that she that she had with her that Marwen took from her, and yeah. I think it's that Marwen. I think that this is a girl who's been cheated by everybody that she's been in contact with, sold into slavery, reached out for help, had what power she had taken away from her, which is why she doesn't trust us either.
Okay, and it plays into the dishonest bit because she's going to try and steal it back. Yeah, okay. Does Cadoc, actually it's Sabine or Paul, which one of you would like to roll the dice on this one? You're rolling +2. Nothing else applies.
Go ahead,
Who wants
Sabine.
to take?
I think I've rolled. Yeah, I mean, I can do it. I roll. Let me roll these dice. And I roll just 2. Just 2.
+2.
Just 2.
Just 2 dice.
Just 2
+2.
dice. You sure? Okay. It's a 7 + 2 is a 9.
9. On a 7 to 9. As for 10+, so the heroes are correct and frame the scene in which they will confront the darkness they have revealed. But on a 7 to 9, the fates will add an unwelcome and probably dangerous complication to the scene they have framed. So we need to frame a scene in which you are going to confront this darkness. So let me go back the other way then. So Black Jell, who is the focus of the darkness? Who are you seeking to confront here? Or what are you seeking to confront?
Merwin transforms into a fish demon. There we go.
So this is a confrontation with Merwin. Okay. Where does it happen? Fynn.
Where does it happen? I think it's going to have to be here in the village somewhere.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's the where. I'm imagining that somehow Aoife has shown up and is trying to steal the totem, and that's what's going to precipitate the transformation.
Could well be, couldn't it? Could well be.
Could well be.
Solinus, is there anything else you want to add to that scene? It's in the village, but we haven't pinned down exactly where in the village you want to frame that, so you could add that detail.
I would like it to be like out in the kind of what amounts for like the village square kind of thing, and I would kind of like it to be like things rising up from beneath the fen, you know.
Fine. So on the deck, really. So the way I'm kind of framing this at the moment is, you know, it looks like you've accepted her view that she has nothing to do with this. It looks like she's ushering you out. You know, there's nothing to see here, no more to get, and she's going to show you down to that dock, floating in this lagoon, and then I think, Cadoc, last question: what precipitates the action?
Oh, I think what precipitates the action might be that, well, I think maybe the girl Eva gets caught trying to steal the Dagon thing, and that is a confrontation that might, but she might get loose and run off, and maybe she doesn't get loose by herself. Maybe Black Jell has something to do with that, right? Because we're going out, and she goes in and takes the thing, and then everybody tumbles out of the main hut, and then there we are. Maven sees
can I simplify that to the inciting, the kickoff point is Aoife gets caught. You know, someone is going to catch Aoife. And so you've been ushered out of this larger hut. Black Jell is still in the water underneath. The three of you are being ushered down to the dock, and then on just behind the church building, this large building, there's a fuss, some shouting, some struggling, and Aoife is dragged around to the front where you can see her by some of the villagers. And the other villagers are still around. I think that's where we then kick off the action. So Aoife is being taken, and sees you, and is torn between fear of you and fear of them, and the situation she finds herself in, where she believes something has got out of her control. Yeah. Let's start with Black Jell. They don't know you're there. What do we now see you doing at advantage?
There's still no enemy, though, is there?
Well, Myrwen,
Until you
the
tell
fish
me
demon,
she turns into a fish demon.
you told me that. Well, at the minute, the inciting incident, if you like, is Aoife being captured.
Minor side point. The demon's the big thing.
Okay. Then I think I will go next to Solinus. What, if anything, does Solinus do?
Puts our hand to the girl. Run, girl.
And she's struggling. Cadoc, what do you do when you see this girl struggling to get free?
Her again, huh? I'll stride over and say I'll take her from here, and I'll try to get her away from that villager who's holding her.
Okay, so you're going to go up back towards fine, and confront the people who are with Aoife. Yeah. That leaves me with Fynn. What do you do?
How is Merwin responding to Aoife's arrival or revelation as she walks out?
She checks something within her robe.
Mm.
What do you do?
I think I'm going to resort to violence because that's what normally I do. Even
so
though
you transform.
Someone told me not to.
You transform. Solinus, you're down there on the dock with Fynn transforming. Myrwen, Cadoc has gone past you to confront the people up there. Black Jell is still in the water. And that's when Myrwen changes as well. She also transforms as Fynn transforms into this great beast. Myrwen turns into this vaguely toad-like, half human, half toad feral creature. Solinus, you're next to them when it happens. What do you do?
We don't have our weapons, do we? They're in the boat.
They're in the boat.
Yeah. And Cadoc's by Iwa isn't.
No.
Aoife isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that leaves me in between a skin changer and a sea monster.
Mm-hmm.
I will. I mean, we're on the thing. I will try and kick Marin into the water, away from. Yeah. Basically.
Okay. I will tell you now that Myrwen in Transformed has 2 defenses, a tough hide, and a high pain threshold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I'm trying to do more than anything else is to get her away, the monster away from further away from Aoife, I think.
Okay, so put yourself between Cadoc and Aoife and her,
yeah,
or
I think
literally
so, yeah.
try to move her.
Literally try to move her, I think, yeah.
Okay, I think that is probably using steel at disadvantage, given the bulk, to face the challenge of making that happen.
Okay.
Yeah, so roll plus steel at disadvantage, face a challenge. Can you shift her?
No, you know what I do really want to mark my playbook moves. That's the problem, isn't it? Just seeing that I'm light-fingered. I'm wondering if there is a amulet still around her neck.
Well, so when you try to steal something, roll plus sense. I'm prepared to let you think about that because you're still getting used to these moves.
Yeah. I just really want to mark steal. Sorry, I do the non-mechanical thing, and I will try and kick them into the water away from me. To buy us some. I think to buy us some time to grab weapons and do stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So roll plus steel at disadvantage given the bulk to push her out of the way.
That would be a fail.
Things get worse. You charge into her and she backhands you away. And she does 3 harm.
Wow.
Cool.
A big beast. Black Jell, you did want to know when Myrwen converted into a sea monster.
Excellent. Just now, I will leap out of the water and go, fishy, 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 fishy.
No.
Hopefully, that will give somebody else time to clonker a good one.
Is this capering fool?
No, this is speaking in tongues.
Speaking in tongues. Okay. Speaking in fish. Fine. So let's have you roll plus sense. With advantage, because you are a surprise, I have to say.
Of course. I didn't need it. Well, I suppose I did, actually. 12.
Wow.
12. Wow. What about that? 7 plus. Say who or what stops doing what they were doing confused, allowing another hero to act unopposed if they were yet to act, or grant them the other hero advantage. So who or what? Myrwen the fish monster?
Yeah, clearly on her. And I think this will give Fynn advantage.
Yep.
I think that's probably true. So Fynn, you have advantage, and she won't do any harm to you, whatever the move says. So we're in to confront them, I think, because this is about trying to overcome her, isn't it? Yes. So which of these 2 defenses do you want to have a crack at first? Do you want to kind of score her hide with your teeth, or do you want to just pummel her with your bare strength to get past that high pain threshold?
Oh, the high pain threshold, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think I'm getting past the high pain threshold because I notice like the weak spot on her, which is, frogs have this kind of neck, bulbous neck, but that's the weak part. And so I'm going to go straight for her throat, and let's see how much pain she can take there if she gets that ripped out.
Okay, so I'll go with subtle or steel. or if you have a move that gives you an alternative, an alternative.
Let's see. Let's go ahead. Subtle is cunning. I see. I'm higher in steel, but I could use a subtle roll. But I'll just. This is just going to be steel.
Steel. Roll plus steel. You get +1, don't you, when you confront them with your wear attacks?
For the
Beast
first
Unleashed?
attack. The first attack. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I just had this. So it'll be +1. So it'll be +2, right?
Go ahead. And you have advantage, remember.
Oh, I had advantage. Oh,
Yes, because
I
of
didn't realize
Black
that.
Jell's speaking in tongues.
Well, just on the 2 rolls, I had 9 + 2, so that's already 11. So
That's
I didn't need the
fine.
advantage.
That's fine. Let's not worry about that. And how do we know that you've got through that high pain threshold?
I think, what is that thing called? The throat.
They use it to kind of call, don't
Court,
they?
right? Yeah. But when it is broken and mangled by Finn's teeth, she lets out a horrible croak that clearly is a croak of horrible pain. Yes. So no more pain threshold for her.
Croaking.
Fine. Cadoc, let's cut to you and Aoife and her antagonists. What are you doing up there when you get to her?
Do I see the transformation of the frog demon?
I think you certainly hear the.
Oh, well, I mean, that's probably more what I'm here for than protecting slave girls. Remember, I'm still prideful. So I will say to this guy, in the name of the Lord, don't hurt her. And then I will just charge this frog demon.
With your knife?
Yeah, sure. I mean, basically, I'm trying to tackle her down to the ground so that Fynn can maybe bite her neck or something like that.
Okay, so this sounds like face a challenge. I think the circumstances are much like Solinus's. So this is steel, but at disadvantage to face the challenge. And if you succeed, you will knock her down.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is very unlikely that I will succeed because I have -2 to face a challenge.
Ah.
And this is disadvantage because she's so big, right?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Is there a way to even the odds here? Oh, yes, there is. I can declare her an enemy of the. No, I can't because I failed the roll. Damn it. I cannot. Okay. Ancient learning doesn't help me. No. Christ God is probably not too happy with me either. So I'm just gonna roll and face whatever the consequences are. But look at that. It's a 9.
The lowest 2 dice are 9.
It's a 9.
Oh, God. Give a guy a break.
No, can somebody help me to get that up to a 10? That's the question here.
That is the question. Solinus, you are near at hand, and we're trying the same thing. Do you want to help?
Yeah, I may as well, yeah.
Okay, and I think unless I don't, well, you tell me what you do, and I'll tell you which attribute I think is relevant.
Well, it's quite a big, large, bulky creature, right?
It is.
But
it backhanded you away.
Yeah, backhanded me away, and I'm probably spluttering up through the water as I see Cadoc wrestle with it. I am actually going to grab one of the boards that it's thing and push it down, like it's buckling under it. I'm going to use my draw conclusions, make sense, common sense I was born with, my ability to reason, to use leverage on this beast.
Okay, I'll give you that. So roll plus sense to help another, to make her ground unstable.
I have not rolled higher than a 7 all night. I got 6 this time, and luckily I have +2 in that sense. So that is in.
Okay, their outcome improves by 1 step, so that gets to 10. You expose yourself to any danger, risk, or consequence they face, but I think given that you got a 10 on face a challenge, right. I think that you gain advantage. I think Cadoc in this, barging her about. So there's an advantage in the air. Fynn, I think now.
I'm back. Sorry, I have to unmute. Did Black Jell already get a turn, or is it my turn next?
That's a good question. Paul, I've lost track. What is Black Jell doing? He was speaking in tongues to grant someone an advantage.
Yeah, and Fynn took the
Okay.
advantage.
Yes,
So
and
he
now
should
there
go
is
next.
another advantage in play after Cadoc kind of unbalances her with Solinus's help.
Well, I have a hidden weapon, and I didn't have to discard anything.
You
So
didn't?
after speaking in tongues, I'm going to bash her with my cudgel.
So this is looking to get through her tough hide. You want to negate that defense. Fine. So subtle or steal? Pick your point, or go
steal.
strength.
It's a whack.
Fine.
Can I have
You're
that
rolling,
advantage?
It's sitting there.
It will
Cadoc,
help.
are you prepared for Black Jell to use that advantage?
Yeah, I mean, sure, go ahead. Whoever is next gets the advantage because I've unbalanced her.
Didn't need it anyway. It's always the same with advantages, isn't it?
Maybe I should have just said, no, Paul, you can't use the advantage. You never need it anyway.
So yeah, that's a lot. Okay, so if we look at we're barely using half the rules. So on a 7+, you overcome it. You describe what that looks like, but the threat chooses 1. So where do you hit her that kind of reveals the weak, gets through this hide?
I think I think I hit her square on the side of the head. The head's always a weak spot.
Okay.
That's the place to go for.
Okay. I think that she is going to... Yeah, I think that the complication I have at my disposal is she is going to invoke... She's going to use one of her powers if she has one. She has the power to control water. And so I think we get a kind of wall of elemental water that she just casts across you. Yeah. And I think that is largely to defend herself while she gets back on her feet. Yeah. So I think whoever goes next.
Can I keep hold of her because I tackled her? I feel that I'm.
You did. You took her over. I think I'll need you to. I think you'll need to face a challenge to hang on and keep her down. Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
But I think this wall of water is going to put the next attack or the next action at disadvantage. So I think it is probably Fynn, unless Fynn wants to defer. And just... what do you want to do, Fynn?
No, Finn's is feeling strong because he just ripped her throat out, and he's feeling confident. Even though the wall of water is there, he's gonna try to jump through the wall of water and attack her anyways.
Fine. So this sounds like an attack with steel to humble her because her defenses are gone now, but it is a disadvantage because of that control of the waters.
Okay. All right. Let's see what happens. So that's a 5 + 1. That's a 6.
Oh, right. On a 6+, you take harm and are at disadvantage. So you take 3 harm.
Can I help?
You could help because this might be you hanging on to her.
Yeah.
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 So I think this is roll with steel because you talked about hanging on. So roll with steel. Let's see. But again, it's a disadvantage because of this wall of water.
Yeah, but it's with steel and I got +1 because I'm prideful and this is help, right?
Yeah, it is help.
So let's see how that goes. It's a 5 plus my steel is a 7 plus 5 plus 1 is an 8. So you get...
There you go. So that goes from fail to 7 to 9. On a 7+, describe how you humble them, Fynn. So you've gone, she's going to end up at your mercy. So how do you place her at your mercy?
I think we see the wall of water collapse, and Fynn has after he jumps through it, we're all attacking her head, so it has to be around her head. I think he's got her by the back of the neck, like you would grab a kitten or something, and has forced her to the ground. Well, she's already kind of on the ground, and so he's just looming over her with her face squashed against the mud, or the planks. That's where we are, at planks of
Okay. Okay. You've described how you humble them. They are at your mercy. Do they receive it, or do you end them?
I'd like to open this up to the group.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
if that's
whole table.
okay, since it.
If you spare a supernatural threat, they owe you a debt.
They're a fish demon.
I mean,
I know what Cadoc's going to say. An enemy of God.
to me, it seems in keeping with Finn's character that he doesn't spare them.
No, he doesn't spare them.
He's done so far,
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I will keep in character with Fynn and snap her neck at the back. Yeah.
and she transforms back into her human form.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, she stays a fish demon. I think maybe the fish demon was masquerading as a human. That's I think I like it that way round.
Nice.
A lot of exploding mucus and
Exactly. I mean, somebody mentioned the word squamous earlier.
Squamous,
Yes, certainly some squamous goes on. And there's kind of silence. Black Jell, you're the only other person on your feet, I think, because Solinus was in the water. Cadoc was grabbing hold of her. Fynn is on top of her. What do you do, Black Jell, as Aoife screams?
I'd like to convince the town folk to let her go.
Okay. So this sounds like convince them, unless you've got me a better offer.
No.
So roll plus. What do you say to them? Because at the moment, the two men holding her are looking shocked and horrified, and they have a knife. Each of them has a knife. They're holding and they've got a knife. What approach do you take?
See what has happened to the Toad Mother. Release her, and you will live. If not, you shall perish like her.
I think I'm going to give you advantage.
Bidding.
I think I'm going to give you advantage on this because you're not entirely sure whether they're shocked that she was a toad demon or shocked that she's dead. But on either count, I think that gives you some leverage. So I'm going to let you roll with advantage, roll with subtle.
It'd be funny if it went 1-1-1, wouldn't it? No, didn't go 1-1-1 at all. Didn't need it.
Oh, a natural 10. Egads. So on something they will do it, and you choose one. You gain advantage, or they are awed, and their settlement owes you a debt.
The advantage could be handy if she runs off. They could hold her a bit, but I think it's more fitting that they owe us a debt.
Yeah, I think that makes some sense.
I think so.
So if you go down to your debts of honor, you'll find on 59 settlement or faction. Yeah. So you can write Fenlanders owe you a debt, right? And we'll all remember which Fenlanders we mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because this is the climactic scene, your revelation worked. I ask you what you want to do around Aoife, because they will not. They kind of back off. I'm going to come to you, Black Jell, because you're the Johnny on the spot. So what is Aoife's fate in this?
Ooh, I'm a bad person to give that to. I will go over to the girl and go, my son, you are saved. All is well. All is well. Come with us, and you will be saved, my son.
And I think in a simple confusion, Aoife will indeed go with you. How do we get from here back to Thrydingas then? Cadoc, what frame me a kind of bit of a montage that takes us back to the settlement.
I would start out with leading this village in a prayer circle, because
Yes.
I think that's what my God wants me to do anyway. So yeah.
I think the fact that you've said that, you can reduce the debt you owe your God by 1 if you choose to.
Yes, I would. Thank you.
So that's where we kick off. Fynn, what help me with a montage of returning to Thrydingas.
I was curious whether when Merwin collapsed, whether the totem was still intact or whether it shattered in the process.
I think that it shatters, because if you'd roll 10 plus to humble, you could have retrieved something from her remains. But sadly, it's gone.
Too bad about that.
So in the absence of that, what do we see?
I think I see an image of us in the boat with Effa, and Effa is looking very leery at me still across the boat, and I'm trying to give her a lot of space. I'm back in the cloak and not in the wolf form anymore, but she recognizes me, obviously. Yeah, I don't want to become a frog wolf. Yeah. So that's one image, and so us polling through the fen, and then the other image I'd say is walking through the gates or of the town, and up to the hall with Effa.
I think she is leery of Fynn, and I think she is peculiarly attached to Black Jell. Against all the odds.
Well,
Solinus, give me something about what's the tone of this arrival back at Thrydingas.
I mean, we've got the head of a fish demon, right?
Works for me. And so what do we see? How does this village react to your arrival?
I think that they see us approaching, they look wary, and then there's sudden glances and whispers as they see Aoife and Black Jell, and then as I'm imagining it's probably Cadoc holding the head, right? Because he's a big, strong, strapping knight of God, sword of God. And they start to and then prayers and those talismans that they all had around, they hold them up. The prayers have been answered as we come back in through and you see that big fat priest of Woden burp as he opens his way out of the hall, stretches, and then blinks, looking shocked that someone's actually fixed the problem for him.
Black Jell, has there been any exchange between you and Aoife, or do you want to just? What's her situation when you return?
I don't want to sort of unwind what other people have said. So after a little bit of frivolity, I will take her aside back to the boat and I will say, "Boy, you are free. Go to the coast and meet me when 2 moons rise. I will be with you then." And I'll push them away in the boat. I mean, it's on the river. It must lead to the sea.
It does. I think in my mind's eye, this fen is part of the great marsh at the inland from the Humber, running from for tens of miles north, south, east, west. So I think she heads down towards the Humber and the settlement she came from. I think that's a delightful finish for her.
Yeah.
And I think probably Black Jell, I think you can add the fact that the coastal villagers owe you a debt because you've returned one of their people. Who knew that Black Jell was going to end up with all these people thinking that he's great? So that is the settlement that you've clarified. You've kind of sorted through. What we need to do is to look at the arriving and leaving tab. Yeah. A grateful farewell, question mark. When you leave a settlement, the fate says whether or not their leader owes you a debt. And I think I think that probably he does owe you a debt.
Yeah.
Because you have dealt with, you know, the waters begin to clear, fresh water begins to flow to the Fen again. All is well with the world. So one of the other three of you, and I think given status matters here, Cadoc, you should write Thrydingas in your settlement, and Thrydingas owes you a debt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This debt is noted in one hero's playbook and counts towards the shield wall of any warband the hero subsequently form. You will be able to call on the help of Thrydingas. The heroes also describe how the leader will know they want them to bring warriors to join their shield wall. Solinus, what sign will the Lord receive that says that they need to send warriors to you?
It's got to be something to do with the waters, right, and the river and everything. That seems like it would be thematically appropriate.
Yeah.
I think, and it should be something. Well, it's about war, right? We will need warriors, and I'm going to say it is when the river of your town runs red.
Ooh.
We need your hands will be needed to stop the bloodshed.
I've added that to naive Lord Guildhelm, when the waters run red. Great. So they will be your friends if you need them. And then we move to on the road again. Once you've left the settlement, whether your time there was a triumph or a disaster, clear all wearied and wounded condition boxes. Yeah, so any wearied or wounded, gone. However, if dying, has anyone got dying marked? No. Okay, then we can pass through that. And were you going to say something, Sabine?
I was just wondering, you said that you mark first wearied, wounded, and then dying, and then you continue with wounded, right?
And then you go back up to the second column with wounded, yeah.
Okay, so you don't mark 1 weary, 2 wounded, 3 wounded, and then start with dying.
No, you go right the way down to dying, and then fill in the columns going along.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Just to add a little bit of danger.
Yeah. Drama.
As if there wasn't any. So on the road, if the table is, so I do want to play with the factions in this playtest. So we're going to go to the move which is called Weird Bith Full Arrayed. The fates remain wholly inexorable. So once the heroes are well on the road, the fates asks a different player to roll for each neighboring faction to see if their posture in relation to Dira, where you're leaving, changes. Yeah. So for this one, bear with me. I need you to go along to the factions tab, which is all the way along on the right-hand side. And the faction the heroes are traveling from is the faction of Dira, which is that bit of Northumbria in the vicinity of York. So if you find the column with Dira at the top of it, yeah, you will see that there are a number of neighboring factions. So I'm going to work top to bottom, right? So let me begin with Bernicia to the north. There is a kind of schematic map on that tab that may or may not be worth having. So let me ask, Jose, can you roll for relationships with Bernicia? And it says if they are currently neutral, so you will roll -1. Just 2d6 -1.
Okay. I rolled an 8, -1 is a 7.
7 to 9, the neighboring faction maintains its current posture, so nothing changes in relationship between those two kingdoms. Let me move down. Sabine, can you roll for King Cadoc of Lindsey? Again, 2d6 minus 1 as currently relations are neutral.
Can I roll for Almond? Just
for old time's sake.
Just for old time's sake. If you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank
They
you.
Relationships are currently raiding. So
yeah,
you
I
are
know.
rolling -3.
That's cool. I've rolled a 12.
So on a 7 to 9, the neighboring faction maintains its current posture.
But there is no way that you can do anything with raiding, right?
Yes, you can. If already raiding, then the heroes become aware of a warband threatening the settlement they have just left. Yeah.
But rolling the best possible thing for raiding won't give you anything. Just to clarify.
Oh, I see what you mean. Then it has it. Okay, so it maintains raiding, and therefore you will encounter a warband if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering if the sense here, if this was the purpose that you couldn't, that this could not be bettered by roll. This could not be improved by roll.
That's true, isn't it?
I
Because it's always
12,
7 to 9. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I need to look at the mechanic there. My -1, -2s are probably wrong. So thank you. I think that I'm going to treat that as status quo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until I look at the mathematics again. Thanks for pointing that out. Let me go back then for Will. Will you roll for Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just throw out there that I'm also interested in having a battle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's a 10. Best die roll I've had all game.
Yes. Neutral means it's -1, so it goes to 9. So 7 to 9, no change. Lindsay remains neutral with respect to Dara. Let me go down then. Paul, can you roll for the hill tribes of the North Pennines? They are currently hostile. Roll -2.
2.
2. On a 6-, the neighboring faction shifts towards raiding. So it is now raiding, Dara. And if I come full circle back to Jose, can you roll for the King Cadvan of Gwynedd, currently hostile, 2d6 -2.
5 - 2 is a 3.
That also turns nasty. Okay. So there are 3 potential raiding warbands in the vicinity of Thrydingas. There are the Christian British of Elmet, there are the pagan British of from the hills, and there are the Christian British from Gwynedd. Which one you were interested in a battle? I do now have to ask you whether you are content for one of these raiding warbands to attack and decimate Thrydingas, or whether you want to interfere.
Solinus would want to interfere.
Let's interfere.
Okay. 2 out of 2, that works for me. So that you are going to have to face off against this warband. Yeah. And what I'm going to suggest is that we take a 5-minute break while we just take a pause, and then we come back to see where that takes us. Okay. So the question I've got for you is, which of these various factions are you going to encounter? Is it going to be the Christian British of the Kingdom of Elmet, or the Christian British of the Kingdom of Gwynedd, or is it the pagan British hill tribes on their stocky mountain ponies?
Mountain ponies.
My vote would be for the Christian ones, because I think it would cause some tension for our sword of God, right?
Yeah, but that would just mean that he wouldn't be in the battle. So I don't know.
Oh, you wouldn't raise your sword in defense of the pagan Saxons against the Christians?
No, I am tasked to fight monsters, not other Christians.
What monsters are men? when they murder such people. But yeah, okay. I mean, whatever. If that would be
I mean, we
attempt
can do that, but
yeah. I mean, if you're saying like battle with I'm not saying Cadoc has to fight the Christians, of course. I'm just saying that would be interesting, right? To have the that whole thing play out. But if not,
yeah, let's do that. That's cool. I mean, if it's okay for me to just say no, I cannot raise my sword. I can maybe stand in guard of the women and children. I would do that,
well,
but not.
There are other contributions you might choose to make. Yeah. So Elmet or Gwynedd? Gwynedd is the more potent kingdom. Not that it'll matter in terms of this little engagement we're talking about here of dozens of men on either side, people on either side, rather than hundreds.
Go with Gwynedd then.
Gwynedd, okay, Gwynedd it is. So there is a battle tab. Now, battles are fought between a warband led by the heroes, your very selves, and an enemy warband. The heroes' warband has a single attribute, Shield Wall, which equals 1 plus the total number of settlement leaders that owe them a debt. So I think we have Thrydingas itself owes you a debt, and the Fenlanders owe you a debt. Are there any other debts in play for settlements?
Those are the only two settlements we've encountered.
Well, I am owed a debt by the coastal people as well.
You are. And so all three of these, Thrydingas arrives, cut to the river. Fynn, describe the river. How do they know that they have to come? The river runs red. What does it look like? What's going on?
Yeah, I suppose the river runs red. Well, this is Thrydingas knows because they're under attack, right?
Well, yes, I think you probably retire to Thrydingas, and the river runs red, and they know they have to turn out. So I think that is 1 plus total number of settlement leaders called is 4. Sorry. You don't have to cash in all those debts. You can keep some of them in hand for a later date if you wanted to. Thrydingas is a given, but do you want to call both the others?
Let's keep the people of the coast out of it.
Okay, so when they arrive, they cancel the debts they owe you. So you can cancel any debts to Thrydingas or to the Fenlanders.
That seems counterintuitive to me.
Go on.
You stand in defense of Thrydingas, and Thrydingas no longer owes you a debt.
Yeah, sadly true, because they're about to sacrifice their own people to defend themselves. So your shield wall, when it begins to form, and we've got, the warriors of Thrydingas in their helms and round shields and spears, and then the slightly more primitively equipped Fenlanders on the wings. The enemy could have the advantage of position, numbers, and confidence. So before we do anything else, you have an opportunity to undermine those. Yeah. And this requires you to either, and you can see this across the top of the tab, either one of you is going to spy out the land, one of you is going to try to surprise them or otherwise mislead them, one of you is going to inspire your people, and one of you is actually going to lead the charge. Yeah. And each of them rolls with a different characteristic. Now, given Cadoc that you don't want to engage in the bloody business of, slaughtering other Christians, I'm going to come to you first and say, that sounds like you don't want to lead. You're not in the front rank leading your troops.
No,
so which of the other ones?
This is not my fight. I would try to deny the enemy the benefit of greater confidence by telling them that this is not something they should do. That is not the Christian thing to do.
Fine. So you are going to inspire your own troops by discouraging the opposition.
I'm not sure I'm trying to inspire these pagans. I'm trying to...
No, sorry. They will take inspiration from the fact that you're going to try and rock the confidence of the opposition.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Who is best placed to spy out the land? Rolling with sense. So Black Jell will spy out the land. who is best placed to surprise them or otherwise mislead them and deny them the benefit of numbers? Solinus, and that leaves Fynn to lead the charge.
Okay.
In full bestial form, perhaps, I don't know. So let's start with Spy Out the Land. When one of you scouts ahead and chooses a battlefield that they hope will deny the enemy the benefit of position, roll plus sense, Black Jell.
9.
9. On 7+, describe a feature of the battlefield that benefits your warband and denies the enemy the advantageous position.
I think it is that we are fighting in Fenland. It's like you know, a foot of water before you hit solid bottom.
Fine. Fine. And they're going to struggle with that. Okay. Solinus, I think you are going to try to propose an ambush or deception that they hope will deny the enemy the benefit of numbers, perhaps by stopping them getting there or whatever.
Yeah, maybe by luring them into this deeper into this fen. You know, hiding it from taking them a route that they won't notice, and they're in it until it's too late.
Okay.
That's boxcars.
Oh my goodness me! So how tell me exactly how this works then. I mean, there are some threads there, or you can do something else. What is it?
Lead them into terrain that slows some of them down so that they don't reach the shield wall in time.
Okay.
They're going to come at a run, but they're going to stagger. They're staggered by you know, just they'll all trying to get there as fast as possible, but some of them go there faster and others are lurching along. You know, like
yeah. So you have denied them the benefit of numbers and position. Now, can you shake their confidence, Cadoc, by preaching that this is not something that they should be doing?
It's probably not, but it's with
Roll plus soul.
Soul, okay. Conceal and soul. No, I cannot. I've rolled a 4.
Oh, so they still have the advantage of confidence. And how does that play out when you approach the warband as they are marching towards the battle? What do we see that that leads to that outcome?
I think they're just like they just don't listen to me. I'm just a single dude that tells them, hey, turn back. This is not the proper Christian thing to do. And I've still got pride marked, right? So I maybe come off like, yeah, you idiots, go home, mate, basically. We don't
the
know
wrong
what
approach is taken.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So they still have the advantage of confidence. Now, Solinus roll 10+, so you have advantage when you get into the battle, Solinus. Yeah. But finally, we come to Fynn. Lead them when one of the heroes takes their place in the front rank of their warband and charges the enemy. Roll plus steel, Fynn.
Okay. Rolling plus steel, which is +1 for me. Oh, and I've got snake eyes.
Wow. Okay. So you don't, not even the sight of a transforming pagan wolf in the front rank.
I don't think Fynn transformed for this one. So he's shy about transforming in front of large groups of people that aren't enemies. So I think he just tried to be part of the shield wall with everybody in the front ranks.
And you are going to be at disadvantage when you get into the detail of the battle. Yeah. Okay. So okay. So then we go to let battle commence. The Fates describes how each hero in turn finds themselves in mortal danger during the battle, and they say what they do, trying to weave whatever they described in their moves into the action to survive the mortal danger. These vignettes are resolved like any other dangerous encounter with a single use of the Face a Challenge move, right? So I'm inclined to start with Cadoc. How is it that Cadoc finds themselves in mortal danger because of this battle? Is it because they now associate you with the enemy?
It might be that I'm actually just trying to stand in defense of the women and children, because I would not otherwise face Christians, but yeah, protecting those who are the weakest, that seems like the right thing to do. Also, they have proven to be like lesser Christians to me. Their faith is weak because they did not heed my words.
Exactly. I mean, they're hardly Christian at all, frankly.
Yes, exactly. So yeah.
Certainly St. Adrian would not think so.
No.
So you have a single use of face a challenge, do your thing.
Okay.
It sounds like steel, unless you
Yes.
tell me differently, you know.
It's probably steel, because I wouldn't know what else to use here in a fight. So I am rolling with -2, right? But I'm not at a disadvantage.
No.
It's a flat roll. It's a 3.
Oof. So on a 3, just check out the common moves. On a 3, things get worse. So I'm going to apply a couple of harm to you, I think.
Yep,
but I think the more crushing bit of this is the narrative, which is that they get among the villagers. Despite your efforts, some of the villagers are going to suffer in this. Let's go next to Black Jell.
How much harm do I take?
Sorry, 2, but you can have 1 off for your protective.
Oh, okay. Can I take more damage and protect more villagers? Is that a thing?
Oh, I'm very happy for you to take more damage and protect more villagers.
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay, so if you are prepared to mark 3 harm, yes, I will let you see off the villagers.
Yes, I will mark 3 harm. I want to try out this dire mechanic anyway.
Fine. Black Jell. How does the Fenland terrain play into the little vignette? You know, when there's all this chaos going on, we zoom in on you. What do we see that puts you in mortal danger?
I think you see me sort of crouching on a hillock in my sort of animal skins, down on my haunches, just as an enemy scout, because I was scouting, so it would be very, very skirmishy. But he's on a horse, and he comes into view, and I sort of turn and start to run off. But of course, he's got speed on me. Maybe I can make it to the large pool that he thinks is very shallow. Maybe I don't.
So is this a cunning plan?
I think it is a cunning plan.
Roll plus subtle. A 10. That works beautifully. And in fact, I think, I mean, you are just stocking them up. I think the Kingdom of Gwynedd, somebody in the Kingdom of Gwynedd owes you a debt.
I think he goes into the water and he's mailed up and he starts to drown. So I jump in the water. I will pull him to the side.
I think that's delightful. Solinus, let's come to you next. You're rolling with advantage. And you were a ranger. You were trying to lead some of them to where they would be slowed down so they don't arrive in time.
Yeah.
How do you want to build that into the little vignette?
The cavalry. You know, what I do is I fire an arrow wildly at them, you know, not trying, but just getting their attention. And the bulk of their horsemen peel away from the main wall as they come charging down. And I lead them running up over a hill that I know dumps back down into another part of this fen where the horses will stumble.
Okay, roll with advantage to face the challenge. Using, I mean, that sounds like running. So that sounds like, I think that sounds like steel?
Yeah, I mean,
or sense.
I was going to say sense because I think it's more about.
I'll go with sense.
And my terrain.
Yeah, I'll go with sense.
That is a 10.
10, goodness me. So again, the Kingdom of Gwynedd, or somebody in the Kingdom of Gwynedd owes you a debt.
Oh.
Yeah, and how does that does that play out in much the same way as Black Jell, or is there some other reason why they end up owing you a debt?
They end up owing me a debt because they all stumble, they fall, they fall from the horses. Several of them like rear back and turn around, leaving behind one of them who is pinned beneath his horse and drowning in the shallow water. And you just see Solinus kick away the axe on the ground and just go like, "You're in a wee bit of bother there, friend. Let me give you a hand."
Okay, I like that. And finally, Fynn leading the charge, so to speak, in the thick of it, at disadvantage with steel. How does, what's it like in the thick of this?
I think it's a mess, and Fynn is ducking and trying to escape blow after blow. He's not very good with a sword, even though they put a sword in his hand. He's not used to wielding one. And then I see him kind of slip in blood and fall to the ground. And one of the enemy combatants, the enemy warriors, is above him and is about to bring his sword down upon him. And I think at this
what the dice tell us.
Yeah, let's see what happens. So I roll with
disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
But plus steel.
Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, wow, it's boxcars.
3d6. 3 sixes. Holy mother of God. How does this turn round so someone in Gwynedd ends up owing you a debt?
How does this turn around? I was about to get smashed, right? Something unusual happens.
That'll teach you to roll boxcars.
That's right. Don't do that. I think I think I made a mistake now that you just mentioned that, because I just rolled 2 die. That third one I didn't roll. Let me roll it now.
Oh, right. Okay, roll the third one.
I didn't realize I was doing it with 3. Let me roll it now. Okay, so I actually have a 9. Oh no! Okay. With 1, I've got a 10. I still have a 10. Okay, sorry. I just was thinking about that for a second.
That's good. That's good.
I think help me out here, somebody, because I don't know how this situation is going to get me a debt from someone in the combatants realm.
Well, we've been establishing it as like sparing lives, etc. so far, right? But the way
I see.
But that's a kind of I think that then they're more than just that sort of like obvious meaning of debt. They could be you're so impressive in combat, right? That like your reputation precedes you. It's sort of you have a they are so awed by you that
right.
they
Okay, then in that case, I think somehow
there I am, poised.
Yeah, and Fynn somehow calls upon his strength of the beast, and he body chucks the warrior straight up into the air, and he raises like 10 feet into the air, and all the combatants around him are terrified. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. So that are the 4 outcomes. Now we are at the point where now do you shatter them? When each hero has played out the vignette encounter where they faced mortal danger, the hero's warband presses forward and seeks to end the battle decisively. Whoever rolled to lead them rolls plus shield wall. Now, shield wall is currently 3. They still have confidence. That means you roll to shatter them at +2. So that is you, Jose, in the body of Fynn.
Okay.
2d6 +2.
It's a 9 + 2 is an 11.
On 7+, you shatter the enemy warband and they flee before you. They're at your mercy, and each hero in turn describes their contribution to this victory. And on a 10+, you will get to describe some other stuff. But so let's start with Fynn. What turns the battle in your favor? What's the spark? Is it what you just did?
Yeah, maybe it's just what I just did. I think it creates a lot of fear in the combatants, and they lose some kind of confidence in, and maybe they also they're Christians, correct?
Yes.
Yes, so maybe somehow they think me a demon of some sort, which I am, and that undermines their resolve even more, and so they're just ready to run.
Okay. Cadoc, what part do you contribute to this victory? You've done the protective bit. Now, what else do we see you doing? There are some examples there, if you want to use them, or something else.
I think that it's just the fact that I mean, I didn't roll well. I got hurt pretty badly, so I don't know that I did anything to contribute to this victory.
The sacrifice of all that blood.
Yeah, maybe some of them were like, okay, maybe yeah, maybe we're not doing that to the women and children today. And but if we don't get to plunder, what's the point even? What's even the point?
Solinus, what about you?
Could you rephrase specifically what it was that I had to do there?
Okay, they're at your mercy, and each hero in turn describes their contribution to this victory. You're down on row 27, shatter them, and there are some bullet point examples if those kind of feed the imagination.
I rescue a significant NPC from certain death. I rescue who do we have? The naive Lord Guildhelm.
Fine.
Yeah.
Which means that Thrydingas is going to owe you a debt.
Yeah.
And finally, Black Jell.
Do they have a retinue with them?
They'll have some kind of baggage, yeah.
Yeah, I will take the lamentation of their women. I will be the one to receive their, please don't kill them, don't kill them.
Okay, I like that. And you roll better than that. So on 10 plus, each hero agrees with the fates, how their description leads them to either being owed a debt, and by whom or what, or marking XP. So, Fynn, more debt or an XP?
Let's see. And that's an XP just for me?
Yeah.
Or the debt
your
would be
very own.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take an XP of my very own then.
Fine. Cadoc, debt or XP?
Oh, I'm taking the debt. I mean, I defended the village.
Okay. Thrydingas owe you a debt. Solinus, debt or XP?
Well, would that be in addition to what I chose from that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be in addition to. Then can I suggest that perhaps what did I get with the? No, that was how I got it. I was going to double up on that Kingdom of Elmet debt and say that the person that I rescued wasn't just a random villager from Elmet. It was somebody important. But I'm not sure how much you want me to step on the creation of Elmet if that ever happens.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. If you want to double your debt, the debt that Elmet owe you, we can define that as a member of the royal house or whatever else.
Yeah, I'll just put VIP.
Fine. And Black Jell.
Yeah, but can we go Sabine's point in the chat? Because I'm slightly confused. Who were we fighting?
You're fighting Gwynedd, not Elmet. I think that was just Will miss.
No, I was just copying what was in the Kingdom of Elmet was in Paul's thing, and I couldn't think of where he would have got that.
Yeah. I don't know where I got it from either. Okay, so it is Gwynedd. Okay, not that it makes much difference. I will take a debt from the Fenn people. Because I think when we did raid their baggage wagon, and while we didn't put all their menfolk to the knife, we did take some spoils. And the Fenn people haven't got much, so they're very appreciative.
I like
I
that.
will put kind of a hard X card on that. Women are not baggage, or they are not prey. They are not kind of prize.
I don't. I think you've misunderstood what I said there, Sabine.
Yeah. Okay.
Baggage is something that follows a
Oh.
walk party around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, baggage is like people's
Okay.
stuff. Women
okay.
aren't baggage.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then I misunderstood that. I apologize.
Women are women.
Yeah.
Baggage is
Okay.
baggage.
Okay. Cool.
You are victorious. The victorious says the heroes and their warriors roam the battlefield, pillaging the dead and considering their own mortality, while thanking the gods or patrons for their glorious victory. The fates will ask each of them what they scavenged from their fallen foes. Only one of each can be selected, and they cannot be traded. So I'm going to begin with the man at the center of the battle, Fynn. What do you recover? Weapon or shield, or charm or trophy, or an insight that remains undefined until you next need it?
I think this is the first battle of this magnitude that Fynn has ever been in. So I see him kind of surveying the whole battlefield and all the carnage of it. And I think there is some kind of insight that begins forming in his mind, because he's been praying to his god the whole time that he'd survive and be victorious. But it hasn't gelled yet in his mind. And it's still kind of percolating. And so it will gel later.
Fine. Then down in the notes section, just make a note of an undefined insight. Solinus. Weapon, shield, charm, or trophy?
I'd like a weapon.
What would you like?
Ooh. Take a nice look at what the Sword of God has to choose from, right? I would like, what would be his style? I have a knife, a hunting bow, and an axe. You know what? I think it's a little buckler. A shield.
Make a note. You should be able to write that in, I think, to print that in on your gear. Yeah. Black Jell. Weapon, shield,
So
charm, or trophy.
Left?
You've got weapon, charm, or trophy.
Didn't Will just take weapon?
He took shield.
Oh, weapon, charm, or trophy. Did somebody regain a debt?
I think probably everyone who used up a debt to turn up at the battle now owes you a debt somewhere.
Okay. Let's take let's take charm.
A charm that confers advantage once if you describe its relevance to some future action. So if you want to make a note down in the notes section, a charm from the Battle of Thrydingas. Yeah. And finally, Cadoc. Weapon or trophy? What do you think?
I think I would take a trophy, because one of these guys had a relic, and I think they might have actually lost them because God was not with them.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to go down to the notes section, or even put it in gear if that's helpful, that occurs to me that you might want to put that charm there as well, Paul, in gear if it's more obvious. Then make a note of a trophy from the Battle of Thrydingas, bracket, relic, bracket, Cadoc. Yeah? The fate triggers who will rid me of? If the heroes were victorious, the hero with the lowest favor rolls. Who's got the lowest favor at the moment?
Probably me. Or the favor of my god, right? Yeah. No, it's not me. It's not necessarily. Could be Fynn.
No, it is you.
Oh,
Fynn is looking in pretty good state. You're -2, so you are it.
Okay.
So roll with -2 to see who will rid me.
So I rolled a 9, so it's a 7.
On a 7 to 9, the heroes will be remembered by the faction they faced, modifying any future who will rid me by a further -1. So could have been a lot worse.
Okay. What does that mean?
Actually, I'm just reading that again. I think I've got that the wrong way round. Victorious. Sorry, that should have been with the highest factor. I don't know why I've got that the wrong way round. I think I repassed that recently. So it should have been the person with the highest favor, which is in fact Fynn. So
Okay.
can I re-roll that with Fynn? Sorry, it's first time through
it's
in
fine.
action.
It's fine.
So I'm rolling 2d6
2d6 plus favor.
So 2d6 plus 2.
Yeah.
Oops, that's not good. I rolled a 4. I'm a 6.
The heroes are declared outlaw by that faction, and the Fates gains access to the hard move, ambush, or assassination.
Lovely.
So you are outlawed.
Sorry, guys.
It's fine.
By Gwynedd.
Okay. Fair enough.
I thank you. Okay. I know why I went to Sabine first. That move needs work, but we'll leave that in place because it's fun. Okay, and I think that's probably where we're going to leave it, and we'll pick up next time with.
Can I have a short interlude right here?
You can, because you were looking at the carnage of the battle, weren't you?
I was.
So yeah, so you owe us a view of something terrible you've done, don't you?
Yes, I do. I think as I'm walking through the battlefield, there's a warrior on the ground who has kind of long dark hair, which is unusual among the Christians, and has a huge gash on his shoulder. And then we see Fynn kind of stop, and then we have a flashback. And the flashback is we see a very humble cabin in a forest during winter, and snow is falling silently around it. And as the camera pans closer, someone cries out inside the house, and there are crashing sounds. And then Fynn suddenly bursts through the door and stumbles to the ground, and he's naked as always, panting and desperately scrambling forward. He looks back over his shoulder with terror in his eyes. And then a dark-haired, long-haired man in only breeches lurches into the doorway, and he slumps against the doorframe, clutching his shoulder where blood runs from a huge bite mark. And he says, "Fynn, what's happening? Come back." And Fynn hesitates a moment, and he looks at the wound he's inflicted on his lover, and his face twists in shame. And he lets out an anguished sound deep in his throat, drops to all fours, and bolts off into the forest as a wolf.
Now, if you want to put any of that down below as an aid memoir,
I'll put a short version.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And I think that's where we're going to leave it. We'll pick up next time with possible encounters on the road, on the way to the next settlement. But for now, I think that. Oh, sorry, Will.
XP?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, yeah, we'll do XP before we finish, but that's where I'm going to end. We'll pick up there next time and move on to the next settlement or be diverted from it. So yeah, let's go back to the heroes and their XP then. Okay, so let's have a look. Let me go. I'll go right to left this time. Why not? Did you help yourself by invoking your calling or mortal seeming, Fynn?
I had changed my mortal seeming to Celtic Mystic between sessions. I didn't mention that because I thought it was more appropriate for Fynn. And I'm thinking that whole moment with the sight was an expression of that. I don't know if you agree.
I mean, quite specifically, that means you invoked your calling to help yourself to use that move. It's to encourage you.
Oh, it has to be the help yourself move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I didn't.
It's not as clear as should be there, but yeah. But did you embody your burden, your longing?
I think that last scene did have my longing in it.
I think it did, and addressed a challenge with aggression or violence. Of course.
I don't think I did that.
So you can erase that aid memoir and put 2 XP in. What about Cadoc? I don't think you invoked your calling. Did you did you confront a threat to the innocent?
I did in the last battle. I did.
You did indeed, and you addressed a challenge with courage. I'd give you that simply on the take more harm.
Yeah, and also I charged the frog demon, fish frog demon.
You did a courageous thing to do. So you get to mark 2, and I think that fills your XP track. We'll come to that in a bit. Let's move along to Solinus. Did you help yourself by voting? I don't think you did invoke your calling. Cheated or stolen a good cause? I think you tried to, you know.
I mean,
when you tried it to light finger the charm.
I didn't actually do that. I just noticed my move.
Oh, you were speculating on it, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. But I did. I did mislead the horseman. I don't know.
You did. You know? You did. So the last one gets you an XP. And then we're all along. We go to Black Jell. I don't think you invoked your calling either. Did you tell an uncomfortable truth? I keep tinkering with the wording on that one. I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to find the right tone for it.
Well, yeah, I told Cadoc that they would be at a disadvantage.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Addressed a challenge with irrationality? Endlessly.
Yeah. Well, back to the first one. Helped yourself by invoking your calling.
Yeah.
What is that?
There's a common move called help yourself. If a roll goes badly, if you can make the case that because you are a loon, it should not have gone that badly. Oh, you've got a debt.
I think that would be better written as in you use the move.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because looking on the sheet, the only thing that actually says you're calling is at the top, as in the loon.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that needs to be clarified. So 2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you fill your XP track, you can erase all 6, and down the bottom are the improvements. Once you've taken 5 improvements, you get access to the advanced improvements. So Sabine, if you want to give some thought to which improvement you want to take by next time, that's fine by me.
What does broaden your calling and raise reputation mean?
Okay, so can you see up the top where Paul was just talking about your calling, Sword of God? Mm-hmm. You can, if you could use the narrative from today to broaden that to be the Sword of God who defends the innocent, for instance. So you would add, you are also defender of the innocent.
Okay.
And that means that if you are in a particular circumstance where defending the innocent, your calling, the scope with which you could use help yourself is broadened.
Okay, yeah, that's cool, but I won't do that right now because I need.
Fine.
But thank you.
Okay, and with that, I think with a couple of minutes to go, I think I'd like a quick stars and wishes, if that's okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's kick off in the order I can see you. Paul, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, good pace game, Alan. Really good. From all the players, some good individuality there. I don't think anybody stepped on anybody else's toes with moves. So yeah, really good. Some good teamwork. Went in there, achieved the task.
Any wishes you want for next time?
No, just more the same.
Just see where it goes. Okay. Yeah. Will, what about you? Stars, wishes.
I enjoyed the little moments with Fynn, the conversations between us as characters. I really enjoyed Black Jell going under the thing like Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now, and I really I enjoy the I always enjoy the characters being placed in impossible, like Christian warriors wouldn't fight Christians, but it turns out these Christians don't care about that and they will fight you, kind of thing. And the gods are cruel and the fates are harsh, right? And that's why there are these warriors against the darkness in the first place. I wishes, I mean, just what I said last time in terms of like changing up the framing and stuff like that. I think the battle stuff I really like, but I'm finding the factional implications of it all, and like the end of the Who Will Rid Me move in particular highlighted it to me. It seems overly. It currently seems slightly detached from the actual cycle of play and the game itself that we're running. You know, and it's an extra layer, and also like it's a bit of the Urban Shadows problem, is that there are a lot of factions out there. Our chance to interact with it, and then the meaningful impact that any of that has seems, on the face of it, extremely unlikely to me, unless we played this for like a year and a half. You know,
I take your point. It may be a layer too far. I get that. Sabine, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, stars for a fun session, for us overcoming the frog demon. I really enjoyed the way your the insights worked, and the whole resolving the mystery. I really liked that, because it got us to a place where we needed to be, and then we could fight a thing. So that went very smoothly. The battle thing was too board gamey for me, I have to say, because it was just, and now we have a battle. There is no way we can role play our way out of this. We can say, hey, guys, you don't want to do this, or find another way. We had to go into battle under these clear ways that we could do that. And that made for a good narrative. But it kind of felt like I would have liked to be able to do it, try a different approach to this whole situation, where this raiding party comes up and you can try to say, hey, no, you don't want to do this. And then just have a more fictional weight to the whole thing, to the decision that has to be made here. Do we really want to do this? Is this necessary? Why is this our job? Because these are people, and running around just, I don't know. It was a bit unclear. We just arrived at Thrydingas, and now we are the champions who defend them from all their mortal enemies that felt a little thin. But yeah, I mean, I like the way that there is a wider world and it works, but I'm not a fan yet. But you'll get there. I have all confidence in you.
Any particular wishes for next time?
Yeah, I want to see how this wound thing goes.
Yes. How do you stop dying? ... Okay. Jose, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, Sabine, even with everything that you just said, I really like that you actually went and role played, or attempted to role play your character into that scene by protecting the innocents and really expressing who your character was in that. So I appreciated that. Will, thank you for the interactions, and also just for seeking my character out in the interactions today. That really, I didn't always step up as well as I could have, but I think there was some good interactions. And so it's just nice to be able to flesh out relationships between each of us with some role play that's not completely battle oriented or threat oriented. And that's just my preference. And Paul, I really liked how you sent Effa off back to the coast with this prophecy of meeting her. I don't know if you have any intention of meeting her when she sees the two moons or not, but it was just great. It was a great touch. And Alan, thank you for managing all the bits of this. And keeping the momentum going throughout the session, and I appreciate being here and learning. In terms of wishes, just same one from last time. I think to keep having more opportunities to flesh out the relationships between the PCs would be fun. And so, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and folks, let me stress, if you see a moment for that, you step up for it. Don't wait for me to say, and now we'll have, if you want to talk X to Y, whether it's using the, seek solace in friendship or not, just, say it. Okay, I'm going to stop the
Um,
recording. Oh, sorry.
I wrote another wish in the
And
chat.
I have written it down, which is
Okay, cool. Thank you.
that's right. Let me pause the recording.